Good evening on YouTube, good evening in Saudi Arabia, in France as well. Today we have a match between two teams who qualified for the semi-finals of the Inter-University Law Debate Tournament 2025, and they will be debating on topics they received last week, and this is of course the second semi-final of the day. So I give the floor to my colleague, Mr. Banova.
Thank you very much, and also welcome and good evening to our participants. The debate team of Sultan University joining us from Riyadh, and Paris-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne University debate team joining us from Paris. Of course, also a large thank you, immense thank you actually to our judges that have been with us throughout this journey and that will be reviewing also this match. And of course, also to the coaches and mentors that have supported the teams. Today's topic has been released to the team 7 days in advance, as is tradition. Specifically, the debate will be on whether or not AI-generated content must be granted copyright protection under international intellectual property law. So just perhaps now let's do once again the introductions. The third to last debate match of today of this year's edition, starting with giving the floor to Prince Sultan University, Ms. Al-Saif.
Hello, my name is Dana Al-Sif. I'm a senior law student and I'm part of PSU Debate Club representing hopefully Saudiya in The Hague. I'm pretty excited.
Thank you very much and welcome. From Paris-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne, Ms. Ditma.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily. I'm a third year law and economics student at Paris-1, and I'm super glad to be here today and to be able to discuss this highly interesting issue with you.
Thank you. Passing the floor to Prince Sultan University's Ms. Kurdi.
Hi everyone, my name is Ghana Kurdi. I'm a first year law student at Prince Sultan University and also a member of the PSU Debate Club. And I'm very excited to be doing this debate today.
Thank you. Welcome from Paris-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne University debate team, Ms. Mapoubani.
Hello everyone, I'm a third year law and history student at Pantheon-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne, and I'm very happy to be debating this issue with you today.
Thank you. Welcome from Prince Sultan University, Mr. Abdu.
Hello everyone, I am Khalid Abdu. I am a first year student studying software engineering, and also as well I am a member of the debate club. Thank you.
You're welcome from Pantheon Pantheon-Sorbonne debate team, completing Mr. Velef.
Hello, my name is Martin, and I'm in my third year of law at the University of Paris 1, and I wish the best of luck to everyone.
Thank you. Welcome. So as my colleague will be sharing his screen shortly, just a short reminder also for the audience, when you will see a yellow card, it indicates 30 seconds left of the speaking time, and red card indicates the speaking time being up. Of course, it's comfortable. Please conclude comfortably your sentences. And what more can we say? Best of luck during the debate.
Yes, so I will share my screen. You will see normally the wheel with the double flags and name of your institutions. So as you can see, there are two chances, one chance to be in favor and one chance to be against the motion. So the team will be in favor, will be starting the match with the first introduction. So for this match, Paris-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne University will be against the motion. As a consequence, Prince Sultan University will be in favor and will be starting the first introduction. Concretely, it means that Prince Sultan University will defend the position that AI-generated content must be granted copyright protection under intellectual property law, while Paris-1 Pantheon-Sorbonne University will defend the position that AI-generated content must not be granted copyright protection under international intellectual property law. So now, you'll have 5 minutes to review your notes, and then we'll hear the introduction by the team from Prince Sultan University.
Thank you, everyone. Your time for final preparation is now over. We'll be starting by hearing the opening statements. Starting with the debate team of the Prince Sultan University, you will now have 4 minutes for your opening statement.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Honorable judges, esteemed opponents, and distinguished audience, we are standing at the threshold of a new era in creative production, an era where algorithms don't just compute, they compose, they paint, they narrate, and they innovate. Yet international intellectual property law lags behind. We believe that AI-generated content must be granted copyright protection under international IP law for 4 key reasons. First, IP law exists to incentivize creativity. Second, legal systems already recognize non-human creators. Third, international IP law does not require a human author. And fourth, protection fuels innovation. First, IP law exists to incentivize creativity. The TRIPS Agreement under Article 9 and the Berne Convention under Article 1 protect literary and artistic works without restricting the tools used to make them. Generative AI tools like GPT and Midjourney, they don't just remix, they generate new, expressive, and socially valuable content. If we grant copyright protection to basic photographs or simple directories, like the US Supreme Court did in Feist versus Rural Telephone in 1991, then surely we could recognize the creative inputs of users guiding AI prompts. A human selecting prompts, curating outputs, and shaping AI responses is engaging in a form of authorship. If pushing a button on a camera can generate a copyrightable image, then pushing a button after crafting a prompt deserves the same recognition. Second, legal systems already acknowledge non-human creators and legal persons. Corporations hold and enforce copyrights all the time. Similarly, under the UK's Copyright Designs and Patent Acts of 1988, Section 9(3), for computer-generated works, the author shall be taken to be the person by whom the arrangements necessary for the creation of the work are undertaken. If we already treat companies as legal persons and allow them to sue or be sued, the same logic can extend to AI-generated works, assigning authorship not to the algorithm, but to the developer, user, or owning entity. Third, international IP law doesn't require a human author. The Berne Convention protects original works, not works by humans. TRIPS leaves implementation to individual states, and many states are already acting. In China, a court upheld copyright in an AI-generated article in Tencent versus Dingzhen. And in India, copyright was granted to AI-generated artwork with the Raghav model in 2020. The UK, as we've seen, has statutory provisions for computer-generated works. International law, like WIPO, doesn't prohibit protection. It leaves the door open. The question is not whether we're defying the law, it's whether we're ready to lead with it. Fourth, copyright protection fuels innovation. According to Goldman Sachs in 2023, generative AI could add 7 trillion to the global economy within the next decade. But this only happens if there's legal clarity. Without copyright, creators using AI face theft, misappropriation, and economic loss. Developers have little incentive in refining generative models. AI is already central in journalism, entertainment, and design, and these industries rely on copyright to operate, not to protect code, but to protect the output. TRIPS Article 7 envisions IP law as a mechanism to foster innovation. Denying protection to AI-generated content contradicts that very purpose. In conclusion, the proposition stands not just for the future of AI, but for the future of creativity. If we deny copyright to AI-generated works, we silence an emerging form of artistic expression, disincentivize innovation, and allow exploitation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now hear the opening statement for the against position by the debate team of Paris 1, Pantheon-Sorbonne. You have 4 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are.
Yes. So I will start in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, distinguished judges, colleagues, and guests. We oppose the motion because this motion is not only about creativity. It is about what copyright law protects and why it exists. Let's begin with legal foundations. Article 2.1 of the Berne Convention defines protectable work as literary and artistic works. Under its framework, as interpreted by most signatories, the underlying premise is human authorship. Similarly, the TRIPS Agreement at its Article 9 and the WPO Copyright Treaty assume authorship by a natural person. The entire foundation of copyright rests on the notion of individual expression of thought, which is a requirement that AI simply cannot meet. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization, authorship is intrinsically linked to human creativity. AI does not possess consciousness, intention, or originality in the legal sense. It does not make creative choices. It simply calculates based on input data and algorithms programmed by humans. In the landmark case, US case, Naruto versus Slater, the court ruled that a monkey could not hold copyright, to a photograph it had taken because only humans can be authors. This case is instructive because copyright exists to protect moral and material interests of persons, not outputs of tools, whether biological or artificial. If we grant copyright to AI-generated work, who owns the rights? Is it the programmer? Is it the user? Is it the company? The lack of authorship creates legal ambiguity, and this is especially problematic in an international law context because international law relies on clear and harmonized standards. Moreover, AI systems learn from vast data sets, often scraped from human-authored work. So granting AI copyright could enable appropriation of human labor without consent or accountability. Instead of expanding copyright laws to non-humans, we should focus on alternative mechanisms, such as database protection or neighboring rights. Let's not forget, copyright was not designed to reward machines. It was designed to empower human creators. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now proceed to hear the rebuttals. Starting with the first rebuttal, Prince Sultan University, you have 2 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are.
Okay, thank you to the proposition for their points. I would first like to start to the point made by the opposition that the legal foundations currently do not support giving copyright protection to AI content. Like the opposition mentioned, the Berne Convention and the WIPO treaties assume that authorship should be by a natural person. However, they never specify it. In addition to that, copyright already protects non-human authors, like companies, every single day. And the law protects the work itself and not the soul behind it. As for what the opposition mentioned about the case about where the court did not grant permission to a monkey for taking a picture, equating a picture taken by a monkey is a huge false equivalence, because in this case, in the case of what we're talking about, the AI itself is being prompted by a human. So there is human creative input. The AI is not generating an output by itself. The algorithm is being created by a human, and the creative input is being input by a human. Okay, like my colleague mentioned, if we can grant copyright protection to a person taking a picture because the input that they created, the spacing, was created by a human, then the same would apply to an AI work, because an AI work is being prompted by a human, by a natural person, and a natural person is putting that creative input in. If an AI entity can be sued in a court, just like the New York Times versus the OpenAI court, if they can be sued in a court of law, then if we're granting them legal obligations, we should also
Your timer has been paused at 16 seconds.
sorry, am I audible and visible now?
Yes, you are. Your timer has been paused at 16 seconds. You were cut off at the AI automation.
Okay, I will just repeat my final point. If if AI can be sued in a court of law and it can be granted legal obligations in a court of law, therefore it should also have legal rights under international law. Because no entity exists where it only has obligations under law and does not have rights. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear the first rebuttal by the debate team of Pantheon-Sorbonne in the against position. You have 2 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are, but I will also kindly ask everyone else to turn off your cameras, and I will be visible at the 30-second mark.
Okay, I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. The opposition must have said, or at least proposed the idea, that creative input by a human into an artificial intelligence generative art, or internet, or a producer of intellectual property of some sort, is in fact linked to the human author in the fact that there is a statute of prompt engineering or a database engineer that would in fact create indirectly a form of intellectual property. But this is entirely indirect. Can we truly put copyright? Because we must understand that the question over here is copyright. The question is not authorship. Coming back to the fact that our opponents said that the Berne Convention, for example, in its Article 6, does not specify that human authors must be human in order to revoke or have the quality of human or anthropocentric formality in order to claim some sort of coherence and use or benefit from the rights that they might benefit from of copyright. But the Berne Convention in Article 6 just say that human creativity, or the reward of human creativity, or rewarding human creativity, is the first purpose of copyright. This is extremely important because it means that there is no economic rationale to monopolizing works that deny or do not derive from intellectual labor. So if in the introduction our opponents may have said that just like we may grant copyright or so these rights of copyright to companies, we should in fact do it to AI or generative AI. But this is completely a mishap or a wrong or inappropriate comparison, in the sense that companies are in fact created by a group of people who come together, and their collective interests are at stake here, which is entirely different from any other sort of AI generative productions that in fact do not concern the same incentives.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now proceed to hear the second rebuttal by the debate team in favor. Sultan University debate team, you have 2 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are.
Okay. The opposition mentioned the Berne Convention and that we are not talking about authorship. However, as we all know, authorship is required for copyright. I'm going to give you an example of the UK Copyright Designs and Patents Act that allowed for computer-generated works, with the author being the person by whom the arrangements necessary for the creation of the work are undertaken. This applies perfectly to AI because the person is giving the input and the person is creating the algorithm, but the actual work is a computer-generated work. In addition to that, in Express Newspapers versus Liverpool Daily, there was acknowledgement of computer-generated authorship and granting copyright to computer-generated work. The Berne Convention refers to authors but does not define them exclusively as humans. And in addition to that, it was drafted in 1886, long before AI, and its flexibility has allowed it to adapt to new media forms like photography, film, and computer programs. In addition to that, the WIPO guidance suggests signatory states have leeway to define authorship in emerging fields, and the US Copyright Office in the 3rd edition was against AI authorship, but said that it could evolve to include AI authorship and AI copyright protection. The law is adaptive. Just as photography and digital art were integrated, AI can be too. In addition to that, the recognition brings legal clarity, and denying recognition and denying copyright protection would create conflict and chaos. It would open a legal vacuum that invites exploitation, ambiguity, and disputes. Lack of protection means lack of control, and no creator wins in chaos. This not granting copyright protection would devalue not only AI assisted work, but also genuine human creativity, as artists and innovators are forced to compete in a market flooded with unattributed, mass produced content. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear the second rebuttal by the debate team of Paris and Pantheon-Sorbonne. You two have 2 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are.
I'll start in 3, 2, 1. I first of all thank the opposition for the points that they made, but I do have to underline and maybe say that we might want to get back to why we have authorship and copyright. It is to protect and hone and boost creativity, and especially human creativity. I mean, as my teammates mentioned, there is a consensus. The consensus has been for a long time that only human intellectual creations qualify to be as protected literary and artistic works. And that is what the law reflects. I mean, if we look at US copyright law and EU copyright law, for example, and also Chinese copyright law, it is human-centric. I mean, work must be the author's own intellectual creation. And as mentioned in the opening statement of the opposition, it is they mentioned that it would be positive or boost creativity. However, imagine someone creating a piece of music, a melody, and then having to fear that AI created one, because AI, we see that with ChatGPT. AI creates far more than any human could create in 1 minute, and they would just simply flood our world with all kinds of different melodies, pieces of music, and that would in the end stifle human creativity instead of boosting it. So it would have then the opposite effect to what it was in the beginning meant to have. So we say that we do have other things in place, such as patents. So for copyright, let's stick to human creativity. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now proceed to hear the conclusions, starting with the debate team of Princeton University. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, am I audible and visible?
You are.
Okay, honorable judges, esteemed opponents. When history looks back at us, will it say that we adapted the greatest or the creative leap of our time, or that we just buried our heads in outdated definitions? The world has changed, and AI doesn't just replicate, it creates, it writes, it designs, it gives you something new. To deny these copyright protection to AI-generated works, it's also to deny the reality of modern creativity. We've shown you today that the law is already evolving. The Berne Convention and the TRIPS don't require a human author. Countries like China, India, and the UK have already recognized AI-generated work. And the world hasn't fallen apart. It's moving forward. We've shown that AI isn't just replacing the human. I can speak from experience as a software engineer. Behind every prompt, there is a person. Behind every algorithms, there is a team. Just imagine, like the photographer behind the lens or the coder behind the software. The human role is still central. It's the most important part of the AI process. And of course, it deserves legal recognition. And we've shown that this is not just a legal issue, it's also an economic issue. When we talk about a company or an industry that have 7 trillion that need to be protected, it doesn't require ambiguity. Copyright isn't about robots, it's about responsibility, regulation, and rewarding innovation. You cannot claim to support creativity and at the same time you're excluding the very tools that define it today. let's update the law before the law becomes obsolete. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We'll now hear the concluding statement by the debate team of Pantheon-Sorbonne. Debate team, you have again 2 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
You are.
I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. In this debate, the other side asked you to stretch copyright law far beyond its purpose, to cover content created without a human mind, without intent, and without expression, and that's too far. It's unnecessary, and it even hinders human creativity. We argued, firstly, that copyright is fundamentally designed to protect human creativity, and the Berne Convention, in fact, does speak of authors, of humans, and not algorithms. Copyright is about more than just output. It's about moral rights, it's about responsibility, it's about accountability, and those are things that only humans can hold, and their indirect involvement in the creation of generative AI pieces of artworks used and created by generative AI simply should not be part of the definition of copyright. In fact, thirdly, it should have its own definition. It should have its own legal framework with the creation of sui generis rights that are already mentioned, and my colleagues have mentioned, that are already being theorized by the WIPO issue papers of 2020. Finally, we did in fact want to warn about the risk of overprotection and the potential shrinking of the public domain with an overwhelming amount of AI generative work, as my colleague may have mentioned in the second rebuttal, that the overproduction of generative AI productions of artworks may shrink the public domain with the simple flux and wave of artworks that would be recognized as property of an artificial intelligence program, shrinking or blocking the access to knowledge and art, or even to culture. So we can protect innovation without rewriting the fundamental principles of authorship. And in the name of legal coherence, in the name of human creativity, of a fair digital future, we urge you to reject the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can all now relax. You're no longer graded after this part. From the organizing team, first of all, most importantly, congratulations on completing your semi-final match, on completing this part of your journey throughout the 2025 Hague Inter-University Olympics tournament. Of course, there's 2 more matches that will be happening in the next week. So specifically on the 18th, there will be the final debates for the first and for the third place, where also one of your team members might qualify for the Best Speaker Award from the final round. But before we get to that part, it's also a good opportunity to reflect on the debate, and if you want also on the competition. First, passing the floor to Princeton University, Ms. Kirti.
I mean, if I'm being honest, this is one of my favorite topics that we've gotten so far. We had gotten a lot of topics on climate change, and it was nice to get a change of pace and look into AI law and IP law and that sort of thing. And this is something that I've done research on that I feel very strongly about. So it was a very interesting topic to research, and I think it was a very good debate. I think both sides had very good points.
Thank you for sharing. Ms. Ditma of Paris Pantheon-Sorbonne University.
I totally agree with our opponents. It was an incredibly interesting topic, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing research on it a lot, seeing as I am very interested about IP law, and then to combine it with such a up-and-coming topic was unbelievably interesting. And yeah, in general, thank you to our opponents. Thank you clearly to our organizers and judges, and also thank you above all to my team, without whom this wouldn't be possible, and also to my parents for always having my back, and family.
Yes, well, thank you very much. From Sultan University, Mr. Abdu, how was the match, the competition?
Well, for me, it was the best, because finally I'm speaking something that I know a little bit about, which is when we talk about AI and we talk about the code and algorithms and something like this, because In the previous matches, we kept talking about climate change, and also I remember a topic about climate migrants and something like that, which is something completely new for me because I don't study law, I study software engineering. But for now, when we talk about AI, it's something that, or it's finally something that I can speak about. I know, even though that I know a little bit about, but also it's a good thing to speak about. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. From Pantheon-Sorbonne, Mr. Vella.
Yeah, so for me, it was really interesting because I've never had intellectual property law at all in my university studies. So it was a quite new domain to research, and I'm particularly interested in literary work or music. So it was really interesting to kind of research possibilities, and also with the upcoming AI innovation, like what are the issues, what are the problems we might face, and also with AI being so imaginative and creative, we are truly at some kind of danger if we don't act quickly. So that was really interesting to research. Then I would like to thank my team for this, well, for our work together, and also for even asking me to participate in this. It was a true pleasure. And I would also like to thank you and Mr. Lorange for the whole organization, and also the guidance, and keeping us updated, and also with the schedules and so on. So it was a great pleasure to participate.
Thank you very much. Ms. Al-Saif of Princeton University.
Honestly, like Rana said, this was like a topic that I'm really interested in. I feel very strongly about. I've had many an argument about this, usually on the opposition side, and it's something I think is really important that we should really focus on with the changing landscape right now. AI is being integrated everywhere. This is something that's important, I think. But yeah, this competition, this debate, even just specifically this one, it's been great, and I'm really honored that I was able to get this far. But if it wouldn't have been possible without the help of my teammates and my coaches, and just all the resources that I've had. So this was just a great opportunity, and I'm happy to have had it.
Thank you. And Ms. Mahmoumani of Pantheon-Sorbonne.
Oh, thank you. I think there is no world in which I disagree with any of my opponents or my teammates. Obviously, this subject was just absolutely fascinating, mostly because we get to speak about AI, and there is not a world, not a day where there isn't some kind of email, some kind of notification I'm getting on any of my phones, my devices, my computers, where we're going to talk about AI, what is happening with AI, whether it be in law, whether it be political, whether it be even in computer science or development, like my opponent said. And this was fantastic. This was really, really fantastic. I thank you very much for choosing this this topic, and also thank you to my teammates, obviously, because well, teammates and also dear friends of mine, because they've been very good at what they do. They've been very perseverant. They've been very, despite everything that we've been going through for our selections, our master's degrees, our competitions, our tests, everything like that. And so I'm just very happy that I got to debate this subject, I got this far, and that I got here with my teammates.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you all for the feedback. And actually, you kind of already answered the final question for today's session. But perhaps there are other people that you might also want to acknowledge. So just in general, for your teams to answer together, are there people that you would like to highlight, maybe thank, that aided you on the journey, that maybe inspired you to register for the competition, or that provided you some support during the debates? Perhaps starting first with the Sultan University team.
I think we have to thank our coaches, obviously. We wouldn't have gone here without them. Hashim Ashram and Judy Sahab, they really, really helped us with research, with long 3-4 hour meetings on weekends just to get everything done in practice. I think that really they're the ones that we should really thank. And obviously, I don't know, speaking on behalf of myself, my family has really helped me. My brothers and my parents have really helped and also watched every single match live. So I think that's they deserve a big thank you.
For your colleagues, maybe, Mr. Abdul, Ms. Al-Saif.
Well, as Ghina mentioned, we would like to give special thanks for both coaches, Judy Sahab and Hashim Ashram. They were in The Hague last year. They got 4th place, which means that they reached the finals. And this year, all we can say that we are continuing, inshallah, the legacy of them. And yes, as I mentioned, without their contributions and also their guidance throughout this competition, we wouldn't have gotten into here. It was wonderful, 3 or 4 months, as I believe, since February, and we're having meetings, we're having sessions to practice and for research and practice and etc. So yeah, thank for both coaches. That's it.
I would like to reiterate the same thing they've said. Our coaches really were the backbone of our team. Wouldn't have been there without them. I'd also like to add in our professors. Specifically in this match, one of our professors for AI law, she helped us a lot with coming up with really working through copyright and just how law goes with AI. Dr. Yusra was amazing, and all our other professors that we've contacted over the duration of the debate were all really were helpful with our research. So that's someone I'd like to add.
Thank you. And the same question for the debate team of Paris and Pantheon-Sorbonne University. How was it for you?
I think I speak on behalf of my teammates if I say that we especially want to thank you and Monsieur Laurent, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to participate in being so flexible and organizing and scheduling the debates, and even in general for having this possibility and contacting us if we were interested in participating, because it has been an absolute pleasure. And I think we all learned a lot from debating to different topics that we've never seen at university, and it's just been a delight, and we're very much thankful.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's wonderful to hear, and in particular, Professor Laurent has been the one holding the pin for this year to make sure all the matches were matched, so let's say, with the time zones. Mr. Palev and Ms. Babubani?
I think Emily said everything there was to say, but I think Martin and I feel very much the same way, that we're very grateful and very thankful for all of the flexibility you gave us and all the opportunities that you allowed us to have.
Well, thank you, everyone. Once again, it has been a pleasure and honor to see the progress of your debates from the start of the edition until this point. We very much, I think, we are very eager to see how it turns out in regards to results. I think the judges in general for the semifinal is going to be a tough time. So once again, thank you to our judges, without whom it wouldn't have been possible. The topic for your final match, be it the first or the second, will be delivered to you soon. Once again, 7 days in advance before the debates. And whether or not you're able to be present in The Hague, we'll work with you to make sure the participation is as smooth as possible. And there might be a possible surprise virtual visit to one of the international organizations. So please keep an eye on your emails. And finally, I pass the floor to Professor Laurent to close us off.
Yes, well done to both teams, and don't forget that you started in February, so it's a very long journey, and as well you improved every match, and you have met as well different style and different schools around the world, a lot of different time zones as well, 14 in total, and yes, so congratulations for the cohesion, for as well diving into different areas of law. And we want to tell as well that, of course, you will receive a certificate with the ranking. So, and another thing as well is that the trophies have been received yesterday. If you cannot come to receive a trophy, if you get a trophy, I mean, we will ship it. So you'll have to give us an address where to ship the trophy. And another element is that, yes, we will add something else. You will know in 10 days. And same as well, we'll have to ship it if you cannot come to get it. But yes, so that is coming during the next days, and of course you will receive the results, we hope early next week. So we thank again the judge, and as soon as we have them, of course we'll publish them, and you will know if you will be in the match for the first or the third place. So many thanks again, wish you a great evening, and we keep in touch, of course, for the last, let's say, match, of course, of this competition. Wish you a great evening. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Great evening.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you
nice
very
day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.